Hi, welcome, Joshua. Before we deep dive into our topic today, which is what is stronger than brick and mortar, why don't you introduce yourself as well as give us a little bit of a background of your company, Espresso Lab?
Okay, hi everyone. Hi Zuhad. My name is Joshua. I'm the owner of Espresso Lab. So Espresso Lab is actually a company. We call ourselves an integrated coffee company. We started about 10 years ago. Perhaps I guess a short, brief history would give a bit of a context. All right. 10 years ago, the coffee industry in Malaysia is quite in its infancy stage, not how we see it as today. And specialty coffee, the term specialty coffee or the likes of it just took root in Malaysia. So we're probably one of the pioneers of specialty coffee here in Malaysia. Uh, we started off in 2011 as a barista studio. What that means is we are the first company in Malaysia to actually offer barista training and certification according to the Specialty Coffee Association of Europe. No, so that's how we started, and that's why we call ourselves an espresso lab. This was in Publica, right? And then the idea was to actually just do some coffee education, roast some coffee. But 3 months into our existence, two young men walked in, to our shop in Publica and said, "Hey, we like your coffee very much. We like the brand. Would you like to franchise to us?" And we were like, "Franchise? We're not even half a year into existence." But to cut the long story short, they said, "We trust you. We like the coffee." And we said, "If you trust us, let's go into this. Let's dive into this." And so in 2012 June, the first retail coffee shop, Espresso Lab, was started. So that was back in that is over in Mid Valley and Gardens, the Link Bridge as a shopping mall over there. And so from then onwards, we started expanding by growing into franchises. But why do we say we are an integrated coffee company? Is because we source our own coffee beans from around the world. We have a roasting plant which we roast our own coffee. Um, then what we do is we train and we certify baristas. We have our own separate company which trades in commercial coffee equipment, and then obviously we built cafes for people and our franchisees. So we grew. I think by 2015 we had about 30 locations across Malaysia and Singapore. That is the retail coffee outlets which the public knows us of as Espresso Lab. So that's the history of the company. Uh, well, by the time we reached 2019, um, then what happened was 2017 and 2018 was very bad years for us. Bad in terms of we had a lot of bad locations. We had financial issues. We had to close down many outlets. So we used the whole of 2018 to kind of lean and trim the company, managed to turn around the company. And so by 2019, we had a reasonably good year. We were profitable all over again, albeit with a much smaller outlet footprint. So we had, I think by 2019, we had 10 outlets all performing well. And so because of what happened in 2019, which we felt we turned around the company, we were really looking forward to 2020. And then 2020 hit us. I guess that's the topic for today's discussion. Yeah. So
Yep,
that's the brief history of Espresso Lab up to date.
yep. Exactly. So my next question is exactly that you said. How did COVID-19 as well as the restrictions and lockdown affected your business? Because as you said, you were just trying to pick up in 2019 and then boom, this thing happened. So if you could explain that to us.
So, okay, to be able to let our viewers understand the answer to that question, let me give you a bit of context in terms of the coffee consumption in Malaysia. Prior to COVID hitting our shores in Malaysia, uh, co- coffee consumption was most of the time out of the house. Let me give you an anecdotal evidence. Let's just take Klang Valley, right? Let's just take the coffee drinking population in Klang Valley. Anyone says, "I'm a coffee lover. I drink coffee," right? When you wake up in the morning in Klang Valley, you don't have the luxury to have breakfast at home. I'm talking about the general population because you need to rush to work. You need to beat the jam, right? The traffic jam, right? Or you need to send your kids to school and then you need to get to work, right? So your first cup of coffee is usually near your workplace or at your workplace. And then so maybe if you do have a second cup, it will be during your lunchtime. And or people would do their third cup, or anyone who is going to go into their second cup will be around the 3 to 5 p.m. period. So one of our models of running our outlets was that we are situated in a lot of near a lot of office buildings, banking, financial centers, business centers. I mean, and the likes of that. So we have really good business from the 7 to 8 in the morning crowd, 3 to 5 p.m. at our outlets. So predominantly coffee consumption was in this kind of setting, and by after 6 p.m., I think most people, when they get back home, they don't really want to have a cup of coffee because it's the same routine the next day again, right? So the reason why I'm telling you all that is that 99% of our revenue comes from people walking into our stores to actually consume and purchase a cup of beverage. So coffee has always been the excuse. People don't. I mean, okay. Again, I'm making a generalization because we want to look at the whole market, right? Uh, Coffee has always been the excuse for a meeting, for a business meeting, for a break from work, for just a break from the routine of whatever you're doing. Okay, or what happens in the morning is you just want something to just lift you up in the morning. So when COVID happened to Malaysia, clearly a lot of people, a lot of companies, and even the government agencies have implemented what we now know as working from home. Even though we are an essential service, so now which brings me to answer your questions. Even though we are an essential service, we are an F&B provider, we are allowed to open, uh, because because of what made us successful in 2019. That was the same reason that gave brought us into trouble in 2020. In 2019, a lot of our locations are near office buildings where people work. In 2020, the same locations have very low traffic. People can't walk in to even take away. I mean, not they can't. Very few people actually walk in to take away. We are not allowed to dine in. Sometimes we were open, sometimes we're not open for dine in and stuff like that. So that has tremendously affected our business because the majority of our revenue comes from people walking in to buy a cup of coffee. So that was the issue, and I think it is a it is the same story across most coffee joints or outlets or F&B in general. Yeah.
That's interesting, and I really resonate with that. I mean, I myself as a coffee drinker, use it as a way to socialize as well. So I get it
Correct.
when you say that people drink coffee mostly outside of home. Um,
Yes.
my next question is that when did you realize that you no longer can serve coffee to the same people who come to your coffee shops and walk in?
Um, so we knew that. Well, I mean, okay, the first ever lockdown that the country went through, most of the F&B players, myself included, we were very optimistic. We were like saying, "Hey, uh, let's lay low, let's regroup, and when times opens up, we're gonna go again." But when it stretched to sometime in May, all right, a little bit was open up. We realized, oh no, we got probably gonna be in a little bit of trouble. So I always had this product known as the coffee sachet. So I don't know whether I can show it. Is it
Is
all
it
right?
drip bags that you can use at home?
Yeah. Okay. So okay. It looks like this. So this is a used one, right? This
All right.
this is a filter bag holding the coffee grounds, and so we always knew about this product, and we started. I mean, I started to say, hey, come, let's look into this. I never bothered. I never bothered to go into products like this or even sell coffee beans. People say, oh, but you can always sell coffee beans. I said, based on the story I just told you, Zuhat, people don't consume coffee at home. So the sales of coffee beans and anything to do with coffee at home is very negligible, right? But now we have to start looking into it. But we were very cautious in the sense that from negligible market, even if it grows by 3 times, it's 3 times by times negligible, right? So it's not going to be such a great thing. But we started preparing for it, right? So we I did some R&D. I got an OEM manufacturer to pack the coffee for me and things like that. And I started to give it out to family because it's the first run of the production. So it's a very simple product. It's like a tea bag, but except now it contains coffee. You just put it in the cup and then you pour hot water, you steep it, and lo and behold, you get black coffee. So I just kind of give it out to family and friends, and just to see how good, how well accepted the product would be. And to my pleasant surprise, there was a lot of repeat sales. I mean, the first round wasn't sales. I was just giving it free. But then they came back and said, "Where can I buy this? Can I buy it from you?" I said, "Oh, the fact that you want to buy means it is good lah." He says, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good enough that I would pay for it, right?"
Yeah.
But again, we were kind of okay. If you remember back in 2020, June, July, August, or rather July, August, and September was when the economy opened up for a while, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, that was such a what you call that, revenge spending. And as an outlet, as an F&B retail outlet, we experienced sales that is higher than pre-COVID.
Ah.
So that gave us a lot of optimism, right? So I shelved that. I have that product, but I kind of just put it aside, because you do need a bit of investment to produce those stuff. Um, then after that, the Sabah elections happened, and in Klang Valley at least, we started seeing a spike in numbers, and then from towards October or mid October, in Klang Valley at least, not the rest of the country, we started seeing an CMCO, right? And then I think it was extended all the way to the end of the year. That really hit us very bad. So already the traditional year-end sales figures for retail should be up. We were impacted by that. That led on to 2021, and by the by the second MCO, or just before they implemented the emergency, uh, I was feeling desperate already due to the fact that we were not able to open. Yeah, and so maybe I'll continue with the story. Uh, so when that happened, this made us like, oh my God, I have bills to pay, right? I have rent. I mean, the one for F&B, one of the craziest things in terms of our expenses is the fact that we have to pay high rentals in so many locations, and the other high percentage of our fixed costs are salaries. So I tried my very best not to lay off any workers, uh, and so they were very gracious that they said, "Hey, we are all right if you defer our salary," because I did not even wanna cut their salaries or anything, because generally F&B workers are not earning that much anyway, right? And these people, the team has been with me for a while. I'm like, even if I cut their salaries, their salaries are not very high due to the industry standards in the first place. If I cut them, I mean, how are they going to survive? They But I was desperate. How much more money do I have personally to keep pumping into a business that's not generating any revenue, right? So I came to quite a desperate moment just after Chinese New Year 2021 this year. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you're talking about the product that you,
Mm.
I guess, launched specifically for the MCO. My next question is that how long actually was that process of coming up with this whole new product and then trying to market it just to cover the cost or the lack of sales that you experienced previously?
Okay. So this was all a progression. There wasn't like a cutoff point. But I did not expect this product to be like the savior. We were. I mean, no one in Malaysia was expecting that by 2021 that we will still be in lockdown.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone like fought hard, and I think towards the third quarter of last year, the numbers were down, and there were days that we were experiencing zero cases, and so everyone was like, okay, we all sacrificed in 2020, and we were looking forward to a change in 2021 in terms of the economy. So no one was expecting it. So I did not kind of envision that product to be like the mainstay of the company. We were expecting for things to now looking back is quite kind of silly, but we were thinking that things could go back to normal again, right? But so coming back to February, towards the end of February 2021, I had run out of cash. I had owed. I'm owing backdate rentals. So many locations. I don't have enough money to pay my staff anymore. Uh, um, I mean, the situation was quite desperate, but I knew I had this product. So this is the turning point, and I guess probably it would be the highlight of this discussion today that we are having. I wrote a personal message on my Facebook page. It's my personal Facebook. I did not even use the company Facebook page. This was just a personal thing. I mean the gist of the message is all on record. If people listening to this, they can go and check it out. I said, look, uh, times are tough. I'm desperate. Most of you, so my these are all my personal Facebook friends and acquaintances, right? I said, most of you know that I own Espresso Lab, and times are so tough. I'm struggling in my business, but don't don't pity and give me charity. Don't put money into. I mean, I'm not asking for charity. I have this product, and I described the sachets, right? If you would like to help me out in my business, please purchase this coffee from me, and that would enable me to help pay some bills, worker salaries as well as rentals. And I put a picture of the coffee on that post, and this was not meant to be a business post or a public post. It is a public post, but it's not meant to be a business post. It's a personal thing. I still remember I posted it on the 27th of February, or 26th or 27th of February, something like that. Within 8 hours, so it was a night I posted. Next morning, my my mailbox exploded, my WhatsApp exploded, my Facebook exploded. To cut the long story short, a lot of obviously a lot of it was shared out a lot, then a lot of mainstream media picked it up and it was shared out. A lot of digital media picked it up, so it just went viral. And within a couple of days, I think it had over 10,000 shares in all various channels. And I have people contacting me from different countries around the world, of course, all over Malaysia, strangers. I'm very touched because then I realized, oh, all these people are strangers, and they've heard of Espresso Lab. And all of them were like, okay, give me your bank account. I want to buy your coffee. Give me your bank account. And uh, within 24 hours, I realized I could not handle the orders, just receiving WhatsApps and banking in the account, right? And there was this company called Crave, platform Crave, and they reached out to me and say, hey, just put it on my platform. I'm not going to charge you any commission. Fulfillment will be much easier, and you can track. So immediately we went with that, and my stated goal on the Facebook post was to sell about 10,000 boxes of this coffee, and it cost 25 ringgit per coffee. Within 7 days, I sold 20,000 boxes.
Oh, wow.
So, so that viral post kind of launched a what you call it, a whole new business for me. I mean, a whole new way of doing business for me, which is I have to now focus on these things online now.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. And just, to see how fast it grew and exceeded
Exactly.
your expectation, I think that is also crazy. Just from your experience, right? What were new skills or approaches that you have learned while executing this project, I'd say?
Um, Maybe my key takeaway from this is the fact that based on what I told you earlier, most of our revenue was because we are a traditionally brick and mortar store. People walk in to buy and purchase a beverage from us. We have always neglected the digital channel of selling, e-commerce basically, right? Uh, though we have social media and things like that, but digital strategy was very lacking. uh, when this thing exploded, we didn't even have time to learn. We just had to go with the flow. Uh, the first month of it was spent putting out fires because the orders that came in was so overwhelming. It kind of stretched the whole team. It stretched everyone. We will not be able to fulfill the orders on time and stuff like that. Uh, so I didn't learn anything within in that first month. I just focused on fulfilling those orders. But when things calmed down a bit, we realized we better have a digital strategy, and we reached out to people who know their stuff. So including setting up an e-commerce store or selling on a platform and stuff like that. Now the food delivery platforms has been around in Malaysia for a couple of years already by then, but we were never on it because you see we were selling coffee, and
Mhm.
in a hot, I mean, if you do hot beverages and you do deliveries, uh, the experience is not going to be so great when it reaches the customer, right? So we have always resisted doing deliveries, not because we have resisted technology, we have resisted it because we don't think it will be a great experience
Mhm.
as far as the product is concerned. But
Yep.
coming back to your question, what skills have I picked up? I realize uh, uh, it is about anticipating.
Mhm.
It is about anticipating the fact. So we started thinking already. It was like, okay, now people actually have the option of working from home. We still today we cannot say for sure that whether working from home is going to be here to stay, because there were a big group that says no, we want to go back to office. But
Mhm.
people are now exposed to that option already. And so now the domestic market uh, has to be grown. And so, in whatever ways that we can, we want to make it, we want to get our products into the homes of people, right? Easily,
All right.
right? So hence, I think one of the things that I learned very much is that you need to be able to be convenient, sell convenience, and this is where we learn from giants, like multinational giants like Nestle and all that. They they have always been a champion of convenience, convenient products. And I guess
Mhm.
we started from a traditional coffee company. Now we are learning about how to make it easy for consumers to access your product, to enjoy your product, and to come back and return for more. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, that's great. So, and anticipating what's going to happen next, and also try to find, I guess, ways to make things more convenient for the users as well. I think those are two really good takeaways. Just a question, Joshua. Do you think that after this whole thing is over, I wouldn't say over, but
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
calm down a little bit. Do you think you'll go back to focusing on retail and over-the-counter coffees, or are you going to, focus more on this new product that you have?
Um, well, to answer your question, I guess I can answer your previous question as well. One of the is that in a uncertain times like this, eh, all your plannings you can throw out of the window. You just gotta learn to go with the flow and say, okay, you could
Uh-huh.
plan, but you
Mhm.
just always have to, and it's been proven for the past 2 years. Every time you plan, the moment something happens, you got to just be able to just switch and be agile quickly.
Mhm.
We have been around for 10 years. For a local homegrown coffee chain, that's a pretty good record. I mean, I think. But it does look like for the past 1 year, it has proven that no matter how we held on deliveries or dine-ins and stuff like that, we were not able to do anything. And so we had to quickly turn around and move with this new product. The other takeaway thing I think I would like to share with you is that based on the viral response of what I posted, and as well as the tremendous support from all Malaysians and across the world, I realized that we have really invested in relationship over the past 10 years. We probably, and I like to say this, we probably have done something right in the past
Mhm.
for such an outpouring of support when we needed it now, right?
Yeah.
Though sales is down and everything, but a lot of times from all the text messages, the phone conversations and all that during my viral post period, a lot of them are saying, hey, we and they were telling me a lot of stories. I always remember Espresso Lab. at this place, at that place, we had coffee, and they were telling me all their personal stories about how they encountered our coffee and had important meetings there, met someone important, built some relationships. And so these are personal anecdotes that show that, hey, we made an impact in people's lives. And we have stories that came back and say, hey, your barista was very good, your barista was very kind, this person, that person. So as a brand, we probably had some positive impact on people's lives. Uh, we we built good relationships in the past that so that when we needed help in the present moment, a lot of people came back. Yes. And one of the most touching message I had was from this retiree. He called me up and he says, "I'm a stranger. I got your phone number from the Facebook page. Uh, I'm retired. I don't drink coffee, but I want to buy your coffee." I said, "If you don't drink coffee, why are you buying the coffee?" I do not
Yeah.
want to see, and this is the response, I do not want to see a Malaysian brand go down.
Mm.
And that touched me. And I had a few other conversations similar to that. And I said, and I kept telling myself, I'm grateful. I mean, I'm a Christian. I said, I'm so grateful to God, and we must have done something right in the past, for people to continue supporting us like that today. But yes, if you talk about I mean, the other than the human side of the story, we had to switch quickly online, basically to find to use the digital pathway, social medias and digital medias to send the word out to people that says, hey, we have a product like that. You actually can get it and consume this in your house.
Yeah, that's great, Joshua. That point that you're not just selling a cup of coffee, you're also selling experience and that
Exactly.
relation, right? Which is why
That's
people keep coming back to Espresso Lab.
yeah.
We are actually running out of time, but your story has
Sure.
been extremely inspiring, and I'm so honored to be able to listen to that firsthand. Just a final question, or final words. Any parting words to the audience, or any key advice that you'd give to our audience today?
I wouldn't say advice. I mean, this is a sharing session. I just want to share my experience, and I come back to the fact that I told you, we we must always do the right things right. And I
Mhm.
guess now, it is a validation that I probably have done something right in the past. And I
Mhm.
mean, you wouldn't know whether you have done it right until it gets validated like this, right? And
Mhm.
so the sales numbers, the hard facts, the data has validated the fact that, hey, we have done something right in the past.
All
And
right.
so now you actually get the results. Yeah.
That's great, Joshua. Thank you again for joining us today. And I hope that everyone, listening would learn something from your experience.
Thank you, Zuhat. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. All right.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.